Well, now, these are sacred laws of wealth that I learned when I was 29 years old. By the way, if you didn't know, I'm about to go 33 years old. By the way, on October 26th, this year, 2024, I'm going to hit my 33rd years. Anyway, that is basically like 4 years ago. That's when I learned this specific thing. And of course, just like any other African youth, I struggled a lot once I actually graduated from the university. For those who have been following me for quite a long time, you can go check my older videos like 3 years ago. I was actually doing painting, like literally painting, painting the houses and what have you. And mark you, I'm a graduate and I'm doing those odd jobs. And with all the due respect for those people who paint, I'm not saying it's a bad job, but for me it was at that particular point, bearing in mind that, whatever, it is what it is. So I used to struggle a lot in terms of how exactly do we create wealth? How do we progress from one step to the other? I'm like, how do we progress? Now, the thing is, I happened to share a bench with an individual at 29. And let me tell you one thing, the guy shared a lot with me, and that thing has actually been pushing me all along since that particular time. And I find it worth to just come here. I don't want to be a gatekeeper of this knowledge. Let me just share with you. You never know. Just like an iron sharpens another iron. So do we learn from each other? All what you need to do is to watch this video to the end. Make sure that you hit that subscription button. By the way, just down below there, a small button written subscription. Does not cost you anything. Go ahead and hit it. And by the way, once you do that, you get to be notified whenever I upload a new good video. And by the way, don't forget this all. Make sure that you smash like the button. Yeah, thank you. Good. Now, here we are. See, what are these sacred laws of wealth creation? And by the way, take your time. I'm gonna move. People say that, hey Joseph, you talk too fast. No, on this video I'm gonna be slow at how I'm dispensing this information. Now, when I talk about the laws of, or the sacred laws of wealth, there is something that you need to understand. If today, you who is watching this video, you would like to be a doctor, what would you do? Thank you. You would go join university or medical school where you'll be taught by who? Thank you. You will be taught by doctors. Doctors are taught by doctors. By the way, if you didn't know, my first degree that I did in university, Maseno University, I did medical biotechnology. I'm a medical research officer by profession. And we used to be taught by scientists who are doing those research officers. We used to be taught by doctors and what have you. So the thing is, if you'd like to be a doctor, you need a doctor to teach you. If you'd like to be a pilot, you cannot be taught by a farmer. You cannot be taught by a successful farmer. You cannot be taught by a successful or a mogul in real estate. True or not true? You need to have a what? A pilot to teach you to do that. If you need to be a teacher, obviously you need a teacher to teach you. So if you need to be wealthy, there are principles, there are guidelines that you must follow. There is no way. Let me ask a very simple question. If you want to be a doctor, even if a pastor prays for you, even if he puts his hands or her hand on top of your head and prays for you, and you do the fasting and you do all the sacrifices that you do, the tithing and everything, will you end up be a doctor? Okay, fine. Let me ask another question. If you would like to know how to bake a cake, you want to be the best guy who bakes a cake and what have you. Even if you read the Bible from the first page, from the first book of Genesis to the last one of Revelation, you ain't gonna be a you cannot be able to bake a cake. You need to read the Bible, and at the same time, you need to read the recipe or how to make a cake. So when you need to be a wealthy individual, there are principles, there are guidelines. And it's quite funny. You're watching this video, probably you are an engineer. You went to an engineering school. You're watching this video, you're an architecture. You went to an architecture school. You learned about that particular thing. So why, when it comes to creation of wealth, we argue from this particular thing like, hey, by God's grace, it will happen. It will just work. It will just, like, you just now want to work on chances. You don't work on chances. And I'm not, by the way, I'm saved. Christ is my Lord and Savior. I do believe in God and I'm a spiritual individual. But let me tell you one secret. Just be smart. Know when the spiritual application applies and when the action is needed. So when you bring those together, you can be able to do that. Control the controllables. And that's why I always say wealth creation is an intentional game. Let me put it on the board. It is intentional. It is intentional. What do I mean? It is intentional. It is intentional in the sense that you have to appear wanting to be wealthy. You have to appear that. And what are these guidelines? What are these? We call them the SOPs. What are these SOPs? What are the standard operating procedures for you to accumulate, for you to get that? I'm going to give you a very simple, real example of me. When I was painting, we used to be given 1 hour of lunch. That is from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And I used to know. We used to be paid 1,000 Kenyan shilling per day. When you go there from 7 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m., then you get that 1,000. And then I was like, what changed me completely is that I went somewhere where we were actually doing the interior design for a house worth 36 million. Up to date, I'll never forget that. Then I was asking myself, if I need to one day be able to build this house worth 36 million, and I'm earning 1,000 per day, honestly speaking, even if I save this amount of money continuously in the whole year, I will have myself 365,000. And I've assumed I'm not eating, I'm not getting anything out of that 1,000 shilling. And I'm assuming that I'm going to get this job continuously in a whole year. All those are assumptions. You cannot get them. That's a reality. So a whole year, I don't have a million. The second year, I don't have a million. I'll acquire my first million probably at my fourth year. And then I need 36 of them. So I need 36. I'm telling you, probably that thing I'm going to acquire maybe after 10, 15 years or something of sort. It takes like a whole time. Then that's the particular time I knew the formula that I'm applying, it is not the appropriate one. And what I need to do, as much as I'm doing this painting, I need also to do something else. Why? I do believe that I have skills, I have something that I can share with the populace, and I can be able to monetize that. And that is how I used to make those videos. For those who have been following me for quite a long time, like Mercy, Mercy Triple M. Congratulations for being with me at all the times, and may God bless you. Yoga with Goga and all those guys who have been with me for years and years on this YouTube channel. Now, that's why I used to make those videos there. I knew it is not paying me now. It is not monetizable, if that name exists anyway, for now, but one day I'll be able to do exactly that. And that is exactly how it used to be: consistency, discipline, sacrificing, to a point of whereby I used to even face critics. I remember there was a time I was at the balcony of one of the houses, and by the way, you can even check that video, and the guy showed up, one of the, we call them the fundis here, or the technical people, or the mason, or whatever they think they are. They would be like, hey, you're talking a lot of English now, Joseph, what are you doing? You're wasting time. What are these videos you're making for? What are we? And then to a point where I had to lie them. They used to tell me, are you getting paid by this place where you're placing these videos? I just said yes, just to get them off my shoulder. You get what I'm saying? Now, when we say about the intentional on the SOPs, the standard operating procedures, and then you people, the problem that most of you people do is that you come to person when they are, okay, let me not use the some successful, but when they're somewhere where they're making some cash, and then you feel like they're just collecting that money on the ground, like nothing happened. But then if you do something continuously and consistency, there is a whole background of your hard work, to a point where by now you just do the thing seamlessly. Just seamlessly. You can just see whatever Cristiano Ronaldo did. He joined the YouTube channel within a day. I don't know, the guy, he got over millions of subscribers. There is a whole of background work why he managed to be in that particular place. And then for you just want to do exactly that and it happens. It doesn't work that way. You need to be intentional. You need to apply it. If you need to be successful, there are some of the SOPs that you need to follow. There are some of the intentional things that you need to do. Number one, you need to be successful. Find somebody who is successful. Find somebody who you love what they do. They're successful. You want to be the greatest musician? Find somebody who sings. You want to be a greatest entrepreneur who is in production? Find somebody who is doing that production. You want to be somebody who talks well? You want to be a content creator, have a big YouTube channel? Pick an individual, do what they do. Imitate how they talk. Imitate how they do the nonverbal cues. Imitate how they do their things. Then that way you become intentional for you to become wealthy. Number one, for you to be wealthy, I'm not going to lie to you, it requires a lot of sacrifice, and you're gonna receive a lot of betrayals from people. I received betrayals even from the closest of the closest of the closest people you can ever know. I received betrayals. My first dislike from my video, I got it from a friend. And he's watching this video, and I always tell him that, yeah, I got my first dislike from you. He's the first person who disliked my video. You're going to receive a lot of betrayals from your friends. And as a reality, there's a fact. There is nothing you can do about that. That's the life. All right? So when I say you need to sacrifice, is when you have to do things differently from the majority. That 1 hour when I was making those videos, guys were enjoying their times and chatting and doing whatever they were doing. I used to go there, make my videos, make sure that I upload them. By the time 1 hour is clocking, once it's over, I go back to my job. You need to be intentional about that. The other thing is that, let's say, what is being wealthy to you? It means you earning a certain amount of money. Then ask yourself, what do I need to do to acquire that particular thing? Then you go ahead and do particular that. When we talk about go start a business, do not fear. Go start that business. Go start that production thing that you would like. You want to start producing nail? You want to start producing, I don't know, whatever the thing it is. You want to start that business, that beauty thing. Go ahead and do it. Don't play safe. Life is risky. Even you being alive, it's actually risky on its own. What you're supposed to do, you have to be intentional. Follow the procedures. Number one, it is not fun. Being wealthy, it is not fun. The process of becoming wealthy, it is fun being wealthy, but it's not fun in that process. It is not. One thing, you appear odd one out. Two, you appear boring. Three, you're gonna be alone. You have to do all those kind of things. Four, you have to do things differently. People are doing the parties and what have you, they're drinking. You're looking at it, be like, instead of me going drinking that 2,000, how about I throw it in a money market fund? How about I throw it in maybe somewhere in a bond? How about I buy myself some stocks? How about I top up my business that I'm having right now? You delay that gratification. Once you delay that gratification, later you're gonna actually sum up yourself and you're gonna place yourself at a better state. But now the problem with you don't want to shake off some of the things, and the characters that you have do not depict you being wealthy, do not depict you being successful. There is no way you can tell me you're on a journey of being successful and you're using your money anyhowly. You can just wake up in the morning, you order anything, you buy anything, you're just relaxing in your place where you live. Somebody shows up with a thing that they are selling maybe 2,000 without even a prior plan. You just buy the thing and then you're just having fun. You're this kind of an individual. The moment you're told how to invest, you're emotional. There is no way you can eat your cake and have it at the same time. You have to decide, either I don't eat it now, I save it for later, or I eat it now and forget about the later. That's a reality and that's a fact. So when it comes to wealth creation, you have to be intentional. If then you need to go to a piloting school or aviation school for you to be a pilot, then for you to be successful, you need to do what the successful people do. What do they do? Okay, they sacrifice. What do they sacrifice? They sacrifice time and they sacrifice that thing that they have for the purposes of investing. Invest until you are broke. Have you ever heard of people saying that? You invest until you're broke. You don't have your money just going into the investment, going into the investment. That's what you're thinking about. That's what you're thinking about. You got yourself a prime property somewhere. You buy it. You get yourself something that you can be able to do. You build those rentals if you have the capability to. You know what? I can buy a car, but for now I want to buy it. Let me just invest it. Then once you create your system, all those things actually running, they're bringing in money from right, left, and center. Then there's time now you start now going for the liabilities. And let me tell you one thing, it's only poor people who compete on the liabilities. Which car I have and where did I enjoy my party in the weekend and what have you. It's only the wealthy people who usually brag on, I bought that property, that flat is mine, that building is mine, I actually enrolled to get some skills in this and that. That is exactly what you're supposed to do. Listen, let me tell you one thing. The difference between me and your pastor is that I'll tell you the truth. No matter how many times you do that and you're not working, you ain't gonna get nothing. That's for sure. We need hope, yes, and also we need actions. We need sacrifice. We need determination. You're not gonna do nothing, that's for sure. And I've asked you a very simple question. Even if you sacrifice, even if you pray and do all those kind of things, and you don't attend a medical school, nobody gonna give you accreditation of being a doctor. You cannot disseminate those services without you going the system of you being a doctor. So even if you wanna be the successful individual, do that what they do. Follow the procedure, follow the system. Go ahead and do that, sacrifice. And I promise you, and I tell you the truth, it is not fun. You're not going to enjoy the process. But the moment you get the results, you're going to enjoy them at a big time. And the good thing with our body is that the moment you do something, for example, when you show up to a gym the first day, usually have those accumulation of the lactic acid. You feel so much discomfort. You feel like you just don't wanna go there again. You're so tired. You're so what? But if you show the second day, yeah, still gonna feel the same. You go the third day, kind of reduces. Go the fourth day. By the time you're going for the whole week, the lactic acid is not even there, and you've actually getting yourself to get the character and the habit and that kind of a thing. And that's how you grow yourself. And guess what? I said I'm going to try the best that I can by the grace of God, that I'm going to be coming here to share this kind of information with you, because that is what I got at that particular time. Is what I've been using it up to date. And let me tell you one thing. There's somebody who used to ask me, Joseph, what have you done? What have you bought to yourself with the money that you get from the YouTube? No, even if it's whatever the thing it is. I said, you know what? For now, it's just about investing. For now, there's nothing. It's just throwing it into investment, throwing it into investment, throwing it into investment, throwing it into investment. A time will come when now we can do the common thing that usually people see, flossing and doing those kind of things, what you have and all those kind of things. It is quite of an information that was shared to me, and up to date, I still hold it dear. Probably you didn't find any sense on this video. Maybe it wasn't your time to actually get the breakthrough in terms of the information. But if you've gotten the message on this, please embark on doing that particular thing. If your intention is to buy a piece of property somewhere, it is worth £1,000,000 shilling. Please be focused. Don't behave or don't bear the characters and the behaviors of someone who is not on a mission of buying property. What am I saying? Let's say you are here, you want to buy yourself a car, for example. Let's use the car. Probably that might excite you. So let's say your mission is to buy a car, okay? The car is worth 2 million, okay, for example. You cannot afford to behave like an individual who is not on a mission of buying a car. Let's say somebody is on a mission of buying a motorbike. You cannot behave like that individual. You have to behave as if it's an individual who needs to buy that car. And that is where every coin matters. You're about to use that 1,000 shilling. Ask yourself, can it be channeled somewhere? Indeed it can. Indeed it can. So know who you are, where you are heading, and where is your destination. And that's why sometimes people ask me, Joseph, why do you sleep those less hours? Joseph, why are you so strict to your time? Because I'm not on a mission as you are. I'm on a different mission, and I respect the mission that you are in. It's only that we cannot be able to move on the same level. You see, you get what I'm saying? You need to sort of demarcate your place and identify who you are, what you want, and when you want it, then focus on exactly that. And that is exactly how you bring the beast inside of you and you become great. Allow me to just end this video on this particular point, and I hope you've gotten something. And by the way, don't forget, if you'd like to get my services in any way, either my booklet, my services, you can always grab that number of mine from the description of this specific video, and from there we can offer you, or I can offer you, a customized information on how and where to invest. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.